I'd rather stay on the pitch running around.
Yeah, much better idea. So we're just about ready for the draw of this third-fourth playoff.
And we've got Ella Malik from Rise matching up against Ruby Smith of Hustle, who had a little knock on the head yesterday, but I talked to her afterwards and she said she's absolutely fine. So that's always good to hear. So here we go, both with the push draw for the third-fourth playoff. Ella Malik's come out with it there. Lovely feed there to Julie Wise. Oh, unlucky. She was looking for that top corner, didn't quite give herself the margin for error.
Yeah, she was looking for a place shot there instead of the power shot, but she just put it too high and it just went over the bar.
But it's nice to see them going for precision rather than power. I always like that. Sophie Coombs-Roberts heads off up the pitch. Nicely taken there on the reverse by Ruby Smith. Oh, that was a good bit of work there, but she just didn't quite have the angle on that shot there, did she?
Not at all, and she's still working hard trying to reset it, and the clock's reset for the shot as it was touched by the defending team.
It's what you always like to see, whereas in the tennis-side game, you shoot, you have to chase the ball, it's still yours, but it's nice that even if it's saved by the goalie, she knows that she's made that error and her shot has been saved, so she's gone to chase up the rebound and amend for that.
Yeah, no, that's great observation, Georgie, you know, and being an ex-goalkeeper, you're very aware of that, and so that's good insight.
Here goes Sophie Allen with a long clear. Oh, that was unlucky. If she'd found her attacker there, it would have been a nice fast break there from Chess Gray. We saw a lot of that on the very first day when we were all getting a bit clued up to the format.
Yeah, we did. We certainly had sort of the long ball from the goalkeeper to the attacker who put the ball in the net. And I think the goalkeeper had 3 or 4 assists in that game. But that's settled down this weekend with a lot more team play, a lot more set plays, understanding of how to play this game.
That shot from Julie Wise there, saved by Sophie Allen. And we've got Hustle's number 15, Miranda Bates, our young star, just heading off up the pitch, finds Sophie Coombs-Roberts. Oh, there's some good goalkeeping going on today. We're still 0-0. Less than 6 minutes left. That's a nice save there from Lucy Grant. Finds Eliza Watson. Eliza also works as a teacher in Putney. And is a very able horse rider, as we know. And Claire Farham stops the ball going back over the halfway line there. You can hear Coach Hudson shouting, work together. As we know, it's a team game. Not about the individual. Good bit of defence here from Ruby Smith.
We're running down the shot clock, 7 seconds. That if they don't take the shot, then the ball will be turned over, but it's intercepted. And that's the pressure that's caused by that shot clock, where they just know that they're running out of time and they make an error in the pass.
Sophie Coombs-Roberts drives forward, but makes the decision, pulls back out again. That's unlucky there with that low shot. That's that bounce shot we were talking about yesterday there from Chess Gray. Whereas when we had the harder ground, it would bounce up and potentially go over Lucy Grant. There's a lovely finish there from Rise. And
we almost saw the assist from the goalkeeper again, over to everybody, to Claire Farham, who then took the 1v1 and put the ball in the net.
Yeah, so that's the first goal of the game. Seems to have taken a lot longer than the game so far.
I think the first weekend we'd probably have had about 6 goals by now.
Oh, we couldn't keep up, could we, Jane?
No, it seems a little bit more, it's not leisurely, it's just more attritional now. It's just, you know, I'll move here, you move there. It's becoming a lot more difficult to make those spaces.
Yeah, they're having to earn the goals a lot more. Whereas on the first weekend, it was somewhat under 11 style, you know, you get the ball, you run, you shoot. You get the ball, you run, you shoot, and you just keep going. But this is, yeah, there's a lot more teamwork, and you can tell the teams have been really bonding and working together to build these. They're sort of getting to know their role in the team.
Yeah, and I think that's the difference between the tennis-side game and the six-a-side. Six-a-side, I think they thought they had to be frantic when they started it, and now they're realising, actually, we just need to settle. We've got 30 seconds. It's a long time. We can move the ball up. We can have a settled play, and then we can look for a better choice of shot.
Yeah, Hannah Thurston receives the ball from goalkeeper Sophie Allen, heads off up the pitch. And it's just nice. Yeah, as you can see again, they're just working this goal. But we've got to keep an eye on the time. We've still got just over 10 seconds, so they've got time. But a little bit of a frantic pass there from Lottie Patterson. Shot come off, but not quite found the back of the net.
And that was good because Ruby Smith realised she was just nearing the 30 seconds shot. It came off goalkeeper Grant's foot, and so they still maintain possession, and now they've got a reset 30-second shot clock.
As Emma Oakley with her trademark rolled up sleeves.
Great defending there.
Really good. A nice clean pickup. Oh, a lovely take there from Olivia De Castro. Just unlucky with that last finish. It's a great bit of defence. They really chased it back, Hustle, there, and managed to force the poor shot. And now it's already back up in their attacking end. A little bit scrappy here.
Yeah, Laura Beeman was very outnumbered there, and as a result just dropped the ball, but it's been recovered. And it's inside.
Oh,
that's a goal.
That was a lovely bit of work there. Emma Oakley's got that great pitch awareness to find her teammate Hannah Thurston in there.
And the speed of that pass was the thing that made that goal look so straightforward, because she saw that Hannah Thurston was on her own in front of the crease, so just put the ball in there.
Unlucky there from Julie Wise. She just tried a bit too hard. She went for the roll, she went for the half roll, and then she changed hands to her left hand, but just couldn't quite get the shot off, and it was a bit wild. But they've managed to maintain possession, and it was almost a fantastic quick stick in there, but it's gone to goalkeeper Sophie Allen.
And interesting, the shot clock was only down to 20. There was 21 seconds left, so it was almost like this is where they need to learn when to take the shot and when they can just make a better decision, get themselves into a better position, and they're learning that.
Oh, that was unlucky. That was well worked. We could see what Hustle were doing there, but the shot just, it was one of those, as we say, places not faces. She sort of just found Lucy Grant's stick. I think maybe perhaps forgot that she was that left-handed goalkeeper that we spoke about yesterday, and just threw it straight at her stick, really.
Yeah, and I think some of the attackers really need to identify, and a great goal there by Julie Wise.
And she's already back in the defensive position. But shouting help to her teammate. Ruby Smith just got the gas on there. She's got a bit ahead of her, but that's where your teammates come in. If you can't keep up, you just shout it and they'll come in. It's a powerful shot there from Sophie Coombs-Roberts, but doesn't quite find the back of the net.
But came off the defender, so still Hustle ball, and we've only got 19 seconds left of this quarter.
Just need to have that game awareness, Hustle, now, to know that there's just that bit of time left. Yes, and they obviously do, because they found the back of the net. They're already chasing off up, but as you can see, we had Ella Malik there. She was aware that time was running out. She was heading off up the pitch, trying to get that long clear, because as we know, the ball moves faster through the air than on the feet, especially if I'm running.
It definitely moves faster in the air than if I'm running. But, you know, that was Hannah Thurston who came in with those 2 late goals for Hustle, and they're now level at the first quarter, 2-2. And Hannah Thurston is good on that inside crease, and the Hustle is starting to find her.
They're hustling well. I'll stop, I promise. Yeah, so all square at the first quarter, so 2-2 in this fourth playoff. I struggle to say that one sometimes. I think it's a bit early in the morning.
I think it's very early in the morning, and what's interesting is I don't think we've had any cards today.
Oh, yes. I hadn't thought about that. No, that is very interesting. We did have a number of cards yesterday. I was talking later on in the day to Liv Wimpney of the Rise, and she had a few in the day, but yeah, none yet this morning, which is nice because it shows that we've had good discipline and players haven't had to be told what to do by the referees yet today, so that's always a nice one to see. We've got a few spectators in situ today, which is always nice to see. People out here enjoying a bit of lacrosse. You were telling me there are a few VIP
Yes, we've got
contestants.
a number of VIPs. I do believe that Sue Redfern, World Lacrosse President, is here, as are her World Lacrosse colleagues, Don Blacklock and Sally. Oh, my goodness, I've had Sally Barker. Oh, I had a brain freeze then. But we've also got England Lacrosse President Natasha Dangerfield here as well. So, and then we had a competition for the best goal of the first day, and we've got 20 people who won tickets to come.
Oh, fantastic. I love a contest. Right, here we go with the second quarter draw. Picked up nicely by Miranda Bate. Got that white ninja headband that I see a lot of the England men's cricketers seem to be donning still, even though they've been able to have their post-lockdown haircuts, but it seems to be a bit of, it's the fashion going on at the moment.
Yeah, I think it's definitely a trend, isn't it? Great ball inside, but a great save there by Lucy Grant. A bit of a collision there, but both players up and running, so all's good.
And you see that awareness from the Rise defenders there. It rebounded off goalkeeper Lucy Grant, but they managed to get it back into her circle, where obviously the Hustle team can't go. She picks it up. She can take the nice clear.
That was off the post. And a save. And a long ball through.
Claire Farham doesn't look too amused by that one, that save.
Just missed by Hannah Thurston there, and that was again another one where they were trying to get the ball out. I suspect they're trying to use Hannah Thurston a bit more today, because she hasn't scored as many goals as I thought she would in the first few games, but she's getting in and around the correct areas today.
Yeah, and I think you really can't hide behind sloppy stick work in this sixes format. It is vital, because the last thing you want is to do all that work and then just have that lack of concentration means drop the ball just unnecessarily, and then you've got to chase all the way back up the pitch again.
Had a great underhand shot there from Phoebe Smith. Takes them into the lead 3-2. That's Rise in the lead, but Hustle going down the pitch, looking for the space, looking for the free players.
It's a good decision there by Chesgray not to go with it. Lots of Rise defenders in the way. Found again by Emma Oakley. Sophie Coombs-Roberts just hanging out in the middle there. Nice bit of hockey to get it to Ruby Smith. They're multi-talented girls, these, aren't they?
They sure are. I was going to say the
unlucky.
Shot clock runs down and Sophie Tamblyn is off. And with those long legs, I'm not sure. But Ruby Smith
that
caught
was a fantastic chase.
Great recovery. Great recovery by Ruby Smith.
Sophie was just hanging her stick out a little bit there. She saw this free space ahead of her, and it was kind of single vision, looking at the goal, thinking about the back of the net already. And she had her stick back in that triple threat position, but Ruby Smith was wise to it and came with the safe check from behind, which is always a very satisfying one.
Yeah, I mean, it was excellent, because Sophie, if she'd put the gas down, she would have been well away from Ruby, because she's probably 6 inches taller than Ruby.
Although I can tell you that being tall doesn't necessarily make you fast. I always use that as my excuse in the 100 metres. And then Usain Bolt came along and ruined it all. So nice finish there from Rise. Sophie Allen's just bringing it out, directing traffic, and Rise are up 4-2 in this game, so very different to the first game when they went up rapidly in the first quarter and then didn't win any of the next quarters, and were caught up by Ford, who we will see in the final later against Swift. Oh, umpires. Here we go, we're going for a timeout. That's a wise timeout there, that one, I think. You know, everyone just needs to calm down a little bit. Hustle just need to bring themselves together. It's only 2-goal deficit. So, as we've seen before, 2 goals can happen very, very quickly. And 2 shots have to be taken in the space of the 1 minute, because we've only got that 30-second shot clock. So it's never a dull moment in this game. You can see just Ash Gloucester just pointing and waving her arms around. I wish I could hear what she was saying, but Hustle they still look riled up. They're still in this game. They're only 2 goals down.
They are, and we've seen games change quite considerably. If we remember from yesterday, Rise were 5 goals up at the end of the first quarter, and in the end they missed out. So Hustle will know that even if Rise are ahead, that doesn't necessarily mean the game's over. So they'll be fighting right till the end.
Yeah, Laura Bayman here with the ball. She's double marked there, but she's found Miranda Bate again. Can't keep Miranda out of this game, can we?
No, inside. Oh, but a snatch shot there.
And Freya Savage sets off up the pitch, eating up the miles with those goggles on. An ex-Guildford girl. She's come through lots of the England format. That's a nice finish there by Charlie Bergvist. I've really struggled with that one.
I think she's probably used to people struggling with her name.
Oh,
but,
imagine when you're learning to spell your name as a child.
Yes, how do you spell it?
Never an easy one. But it'd be good in Scrabble.
Yeah, with a B-E-R-G-V-I.
You've got a Q and a V. You get
yeah.
many, many points. I don't know how many points that one is for each of those, but you'd be pretty pleased with yourself. Oh, and the sun is coming out on this wonderful setting here at Lilleshall, which is always nice to see. We've got the Archers still in the distance, and that's not the Archers from Radio 4, which I will be catching up on my trip home later. For those of you, that's a lovely finish there from Hustle. Those of you not accustomed to our English radio soaps, the Archers is a nice little farm drama that I embarrassingly listen to on the radio. I don't know if you can get that in America. But yeah, up here we go. Rise in possession. Still 4-2 up. So they're just holding it nicely, but we've got to think about that shot clock. Claire Farham just picking up one-handed, left-handed there. And we've got 3 minutes remaining on the clock, and it's 5-3, just waiting for the screen to catch up with us. Oh, Claire Farham's on the floor. Just looking at that shot clock.
Shot there, and that was a miss, and Sophie Allen goes to retrieve the ball so she can restart the play. Moving it up the pitch, Sophie Coombs-Roberts on the ball to Emma Oakley, who takes the low shot, but Lucy Grant was waiting for that one.
Yeah, she televised it quite well. When you're doing that kind of shot, you almost need to go for the fake, but it was as if she just tunnel vision lasers pointing at exactly where she was going. Lucy Grant was almost there before it had been taken.
Yeah, and Julie Wise now running hard behind the goal, turns, Sophie Tamblyn misses it, and Emma Oakley comes away. Running strongly. That girl runs miles.
Yeah, she puts in the hours in the gym, doing her runs. She is incredibly physically fit.
Oh, and a great goal there by Miranda Bate.
Yeah, and I think Emma Oakley can claim that one. You know, she can say she had 70% to do with that goal, and then just had to be finished by Miranda Bate there. Right, we've gone for another timeout here, so we're at 5-4. And there's lots of stick bashing going on. It's always a very satisfying stick bash, you know. It really boosts you. It gives that little something, except when your hands are really cold.
Yeah, and even that is COVID friendly, isn't it?
Oh,
As in, you know, we're not touching hands, but we're showing a connection with our teammates. And I think connection has been so important over the last year.
I won't break into Sweet Caroline with the hands touching hands. Don't worry. It's a bit early for my singing, I think. Right, Hustle slowly making their way back onto the pitch. The Rise girls are almost in position already. Lucy Grant trudges back to her goal. You can see it's muddying up a bit in there. Oh, it's always the worst as a goalkeeper when you get in there and you're just stuck almost.
So Julie Wise on the ball now.
Nice little change of hands there. She's one of those players that, as you should be at this level. It's a nice finish again by Rise. As you should be at this level, ambidextrous. Like, you wouldn't know she was left or right-handed.
No. Great finish by Ella Malik on that last goal. Julie Wise saw well, sent it to her, and with a snapshot she was in there. But now Hustle are just having a settled play, just trying to organise themselves to create some space. That was a pretty weak shot for this level.
I think it's one of those ones your coach might go, I don't know if I'll even count that as a shot, that one. And you go, okay, maybe not. But it's all right. Rise are in possession. They've found... Oh, there's a nice interception there by the Hustle defence. Hannah Thurston. She's in the game a lot today, isn't she?
Yeah, much more. And, you know, it's good to see.
Ruby Smith setting off up the pitch. A little bit of one-handedness going on there. Oh, it's so warm. Jane's taking a raincoat off.
Getting a bit warm.
You're right there, Jane. Calm yourself. Sunday morning.
The sun came out for a minute there, preparing for all the rain, and Sophie Coombs-Roberts finishes that one off.
That was a lovely finish there. She wasn't moving. She just stood there, wound up, and there was, as a goalkeeper, you just applaud that one. There's a lot of power.
She's got good power, hasn't she?
But that was power and precision in there. Best of both worlds.
And a good save there at the other end, so that was good, but a shove in the back there from Ella Malik, and I think she might be going to have a few seconds, a few minutes on the chair. Maybe she saw there was 12 seconds half time. I thought, oh, I'll go and have an earlier half time here.
Yeah, a bit tired. That seat looks nice and comfy.
So we've only got 10 seconds, so they've got to, and they dropped it, but it dropped again.
So that was what I was talking about earlier. You know, if she caught that one cleanly, Ash Schneider, she could have been away flying on a fast camel almost and had a clear goal ahead of her, because Sophie Allen was out of her goal there, but unlucky.
So half time.
Half time, and we are at 6-5, so barely a hair's breadth in it. You can see Coach Hudson just having a word with the referees there, and we've got Rise's who's having a word there? Charlotte
Williams. I think she likes chatting to two umpires, officials, with Charlotte Williams. So Katie Hudson, Coach Hudson, kindly did the right thing and just moved her away and went to ask the questions.
Right, so we just see a few of those goals from the first half. This is nicely worked there, but just missed the goal. Oh no, I am wrong. Picked up again from Sophie Allen. It's one of those moments as a goalkeeper, you're so used to playing the tennis-side game when the ball goes in the back of the net, you fish it out and you send it back for the draw. But Sophie Allen has to have that awareness at this point to pick it up and look up and straight away clear it out to her team and almost make that assist. That one was well worked there. It was a nice little quick stick. I think we're going to hear from Rise's Julie Wise here. We've got our halftime interview. She's been in the game quite a lot, Julie, with that headband. And we see what she has to say on that first half's play.
Here on the pitch with Julie Attacker Rise. Talk us through the game so far. Pretty up and down.
Yeah, it's pretty back to back. I think we've had a lot of close opportunities that we didn't quite convert on, and by our defence we're making amazing turnovers and we're just not quite converting them right now. But it's all about those little margins, I think, for the next half and who can get the head in the game.
You're the first player we've spoken to. What are your thoughts on the rules of the game?
It's fast. It's really fast. I think the first weekend took everyone a while to get used to it, and now we're a bit caught up with things like subbing and tactics we can work on. Yeah, it's good. Different game.
Now, unfortunately lost the game yesterday, but here in the third place playoff final. How do you get up for the game and get excited for this one? Because it's not for the championship, but it is still important for pride.
I think we felt really close yesterday, and so we've got to just lift that level and just keep pushing on. It's, you know, game day, got to go.
Well, I can see you're out of breath, and the team behind you getting ready for the next half, so we'll let you go. Thank you so much.
Thank you so much.
Good luck in the next half.
Thanks.
So Jane, if you were a coach at this point, you're Coach Hudson talking to your Rise team, there's only one goal in it, what would you be saying?
I'd be reminding them that we've still got a half to go, that we've still got 16 minutes of hard play, and we must keep concentration. I think at this level it's not so much reminding them about the skill set, because they know what the skills are, they know what they need to do. It's purely and simply about concentration at this stage. It's about making sure that you do make the right decisions under that pressure of the clock, under the pressure of the opposition, under the pressure of the occasion. They want to finish third in the fly in its first season.
Yeah, and it's one of those moments, there's nothing they can do about their stick work now. They all know how they've done that. They've been working hard through COVID and through the winter and all that. And this is about coming together as that team that they've played together. How many matches now? Oh, we've played 2 weekends. We're on.
I think this is about the 6th game they'll
Yeah,
play.
so they've really gelled as a team at this point, and this is when you've got to put that experience they've now got together into play and use it in this last 18 minutes of the game, because anything can happen. And Hustle on the other side are one of those teams that they've really improved as they've come through the tournament. Like we saw them in that very, very first game on the first day, and they were they were annihilated, one might say, by Forge, and they just couldn't quite get there with that. But they've gelled as a team, they've really come together, and their young players are coming too. As we keep saying, Miranda Bate, one of those youngsters that's come through, and she's really grown into herself on this weekend, and she'll be learning from those other players like Emma Oakley, Ruby, and it's going to be a good half, this.
I think it will be. You know, Rise will be looking to Julie Wise and Liza Watson, to Claire Farham, their captain, to the experienced Charlotte Williams, and of course the ever dependable Lucy Grant in goal, just to be able to lift everybody as they go through the next 2 quarters.
And in the distance we can see some of the boys warming up for their match later on, so they'll be on after us.
And because there was a foul just before half time, then Claire Farham is starting with the ball, and that's why we're not having the draw at this situation.
It does make for a much quicker game without a draw after every goal, especially when you have to keep resetting. So Claire Farham just taking control, you know, using her experience, just slowly starting off here. And you can see she's just building up that pace, but she's being double teamed. Really nice double team there from Chess Gray and Ruby Smith. Oh, that was a great save there from Sophie Allen. But Emma Oakley's wise to the deflection of her goalkeeper there, a seasoned defender, and she sets off up the pitch, proving herself as a bit of an attacker as well these days, Emma Oakley.
I think she's enjoyed actually having a few shots in this competition, because normally she is a defender who gives the ball out. But Julie Wise now out on her own, a 1v1.
Oh, she almost went for too many fakes, you know. She confused herself as much as she tried to confuse Sophie Allen. Nice save there from the ex-Putney girl, Wales player.
And Claire Farham again trying that long shot, and I think you said in the first half, Georgie, that she needs to sort of fake it at least, and she's not doing that. She's just taking a straight long shot, which the goalkeeper quite rightly is making sure she's in the way of. Sophie Coombs-Roberts and the power coming through, but well defended.
That's a nice finish there. So Lisa Grant picks the ball up, clears it out to Phoebe Smith, who's just going for a bit of traffic direction. Get our lollipop lady slowed down there by Eliza Watson. I'm sure they'll be aware of the shot clock. They've still got 15 seconds on this one, but Emma Oakley comes away with it, and she has got wheels, and off she goes up the pitch. Nice left-handed shades. Oh, unlucky there. I think there was a bit of post involved, but also great save there from Lucy Grant. Emma Oakley she went wisely for the hand change.
Yes, she did, and I think she scored the previous goal that we've just seen, and I think she was seeing the goal again and thinking, I could get 2 in a row here. And although she got ahead of the player, she didn't quite get the ball away from Lucy Grant.
Oh, that was well worked. Freya Savage was just hiding there, just on the post. Found her, and it was a nice bit of placement, top corner. It was almost that goal she went for earlier, redeeming herself for missing that one. Sophie Coombs-Roberts comes away with it. Nice little hand change up to Ruby Smith, working nicely around their perimeter area here. Miranda Bate to Ruby Smith. They've still got 10 seconds on this one. Sophie Coombs-Roberts looks to drive, but can't get the shot off.
But the clock is reset because they took the shot. Charlie Bergfist running away.
Unlucky with that bounce shot there. It's that funny bounce when you don't know what the weather's done to the ground. Sophie Allen chases it up, finds one of the balls situated behind her goal, up to Ruby Smith. And obviously she's crossed that halfway line, so can't go back over it. We saw a bit of confusion in one of the games yesterday over that, but everyone's wised up to the rules, done their Saturday night revision.
Yes, and I think that was one of the Forge players who will be playing later, and I know she definitely knows the rule now, so that shouldn't happen again today.
Challenge on the goalkeeper here, but Freya Savage receives the ball from Lucy Grant, sets off up the pitch.
Laura Beeman chasing hard.
That's a great chase.
work.
Yeah, really good defending back there. That's what you want to see in this format as well. Your players, there is no hiding. You can't take the shot and sit there and have a little sulk.
Yeah, if you have a teammate who works that hard, you know that you want them on your team, and that's what this is about as well.
Oh, that was just in time for the shot clock. That was well found, and it was a wonderful finish there from Liv de Castro. It's back out to Emma Oakley here, who's looks up, finds Sophie Coombs-Roberts. We've said that a few times the last few days, and the ball's in the back of the net.
And as usual, Sophie Coombs-Roberts scores and goes off for a rest. She's a very powerful attacker, and she really has that ability to put the ball in the net. And she's done that many times to Wales, and here she is doing it for her team, the Hustle in the fly.
Yeah, and it's still only one goal in it, so it's 8-7 to Rise at the moment. That brought them back in within one. We've got Julie Wise. Oh, she takes it back to a 2-goal advantage. That was a nice bottom corner finish there from Julie. She knows her placements.
Yeah, and Coach Gloucester calls a timeout.
I think that's very wise timing on that timeout there from Coach Gloucester. Just slow that bit of momentum that Rise might be building. We've still got another 3 minutes 17 remaining in this quarter, so just take a moment, take a breather. You've only got 30 seconds, but she'll be reminding them there's only 2 goals in it, and that can change before you've even thought about it.
Yeah, I think you're right, and Ash will be saying, you know, let's not leave a player free, so we must always make sure that we get that man-to-man, and she'd probably be re-emphasising great work from Laura Beeman on that chase back, even though she was always behind the player, but she'd never let her get away. And they've put somebody high here, behind the goal, who's unmarked at the moment, Hannah Thurston, ready to start.
Yeah, she looks like she's going to be doubled here. But she finds Sophie Coombs-Roberts straight away. And she's passed it off to Ruby Smith. And we've got Miranda Bate just hanging out in front of us here. Receives the ball. Nice bit of awareness. Good work around the goal here. You can see they're really building this goal. Ruby Smith just indicating with her head for Miranda Bate to cut through there.
6 seconds, 5 seconds of the shot clock. But they've missed the ball. And that's what the pressure that the shot clocks causes as well. They were well aware they needed to try and get in front of goal to take the shot, and they took their eye off the ball, and then a poor pass or a poor reception, and we've lost possession.
Yeah, Ella Malik brings the ball up, passes it off to Phoebe Smith. There's some good work here from the Hustle defence. You can see they're aware that there isn't that shooting space situation, so they can hang out in the defensive area. Quick duck there from Hustle's Hannah Thurston.
Yeah, she wasn't sure where that was going, was she? Fortunately, it missed everything. He missed the goal as well in their case. Sophie Coombs-Roberts taking that power shot. She sort of goes between working it around for 30 seconds and then I get it and I shoot. So she varies her shot or her choice of shot.
You keep them guessing then, you know, you don't want to become predictable in any sport, especially this. So yeah, that's very clever from Sophie Coombs-Roberts there. You can tell she's using her experience and knows how to keep the defenders guessing. That was a very nice finish there. A little slingshot from the side there from Rise's 37, Sophie Tamlin. She's already back up in the defence, taking on Sophie Coombs-Roberts.
Laura Beeman to Sophie Coombs-Roberts.
Oh, that was a lovely save with the left foot there.
Great save by Lucy Grant.
Oh, my left big toe was feeling that one. How about you?
I think you don't feel them as much when you save them.
That's true. Lovely save again there. I think it was in the chest a bit from Sophie Allen. So ball's up with Phoebe Smith. They're just holding it slowly. They've got plenty of time after that shot. Just need to get the ball up off the ground. Nice pick up there.
Sophie Tamlin shooting high over the crossbar there. So a change of possession.
Still 10-7 to the Rise. The green card being shown.
Oh dear, the Hustle are occupying the penalty chairs again.
Oh, they thought they were getting cold after yesterday, those chairs. So need to get about sat on them.
I think the more the girls play this level, this standard, the more that they'll begin to understand what they can do and what they can't do, because it does put your team under an incredible amount of pressure once you go down a player.
But they are still in possession, which is always a great sign, because if you're in possession, the other team can't score, even if you are a player down. So Miranda Bate nicely boxing out Eliza Watson there. That's what you're always taught when you're first starting to pick up the ball. Get yourself between the ball and your opponent, because she definitely can't put her stick through between your legs. Ooh, Emma Oakley going for our favourite worm burner there, but Lucy Grant was equal to it.
I think she was well aware that she needed to get a shot away, and so just took a shot that she thought was possible, but Lucy Grant was well on top of that one.
So just over 5 seconds remaining in this quarter, still 10-7. And that's the hooter coming into the fourth quarter. So Rise have pushed ahead. They were 2 ahead at the half-time.
Yep.
And now just edging it.
3 ahead.
3 ahead now, 10-7. So Coach Hudson, I can see her making a few notes over there. She'll be having a word. They look optimistic in their yellow and orange Tequila Sunrise outfits versus the Quality Street of the Hustle. Did you enjoy any of your Quality Street yet, Jane?
I haven't opened them yet, Georgie. I was thinking once we finish this commentary, then we'll share a Quality Street.
We're going to have to arm wrestle over the purple ones.
I will let you have the purple one.
No, don't worry.
I mean, hopefully there's 2.
Oh, yes. Oh, it's always the worst when you open the box. It's like a box of celebrations when they're all bounty. And you're like, no one wants these.
That's right. So we've got Coach Gloucester still imploring of her team to do things. You can see her waving her hand, and you know she'll still be backing her team 100%. I think that's the great thing with these coaches. You know, they also have come together with this group.
And if you're just seeing on the replay there, it was a lovely change of hands, shot off there from Emma Oakley, and then she was already chasing back up the pitch while Lucy Grant was still trying to pick the ball out. This was a well-worked goal here by Rise. Finds Freya Savage, who finds that top corner. And if you looked at that, there was barely any space between the ball and the very corner of the post, and that's precision at its finest.
And it was a great pass from Sophie Tamblin to her as well.
And so, see this final replay, just as the players are making their way back out onto the pitch. They don't look tired. They're all riled up for this. It's this last quarter, and there's only 3 goals in it, so it still is anyone's game. And that's wonderful to see as the officials head back out onto their pitch in their fluorescent yellow, not attracting quite as many flies as on the first weekend at the Fly.
No, that's for sure. But it looks like we're getting ready for this final quarter for the 3rd and 4th place playoff.
And so this is only the 3rd draw being taken, because obviously we had no draw in the 3rd quarter. So we've got Claire Farr and Ruby Smith know each other very well, both going for the push draw here. As we head into the final quarter, the 3rd, 4th playoff, it's 10-7 to Rise. And Claire Farham just can't quite keep that ball on the pitch. Gone for a wonderful dive.
Great effort there from Claire Farham. Great effort. You know, she just wanted to keep that ball on the pitch. But sadly it evaded her, and now Hustle come forward. So
doesn't quite have to go home to mum to get her to wash the mud off the front of her shirt there. She seems to be okay. And Lucy Grant, nice left-handed clear out there to... Who was that to?
Heather McRae.
Heather McRae.
I think she's got the right number on this week. Last week she had the wrong number.
Nicely worked here. Got Claire Farham just looking up. Oh, she's gone for that low save. Wonderful save there by Sophie Allen, who managed to keep the ball in her circle as Emma Oakley heads off up the pitch, just indicating that she wants to send it out wide there.
Fortunately for Emma Oakley, their timeout was called before she threw the ball off the back line.
So just under 7 minutes remaining. Interesting, they called the timeout just over a minute into the quarter, and you can see the officials there. The hat has gone over the ball. The hats look somewhat like they should have a little helicopter on the top.
They do, yes. Yeah, I suspect Coach Gloucester will have seen something that she thinks, oh, crikey, I should have said that. And so must have called it because of that, because as you say, there's still just under 7 minutes of this quarter to go. But fortunately, because she did, even though Emma Oakley threw the ball away, they're still in possession. So that's good for them.
Nice long ball from behind there. Finds Sophie Coombs-Roberts up top. Who tries to go for the power shot. There's too many Rise defenders between her and the goal there, but still picked up by Hustle. Up top with Ruby Smith, who finds Sophie Coombs-Roberts. Ooh, you could see the thought process there, and it was all good until that final finish.
Yeah, it looked like they really did have a plan in mind of what they were trying to do there. They were trying to swing it round and then create the space, and then to create the space for Sophie Coombs-Roberts. And now we've got a timeout for Rise. I think they must be thinking, I don't want to not use my timeout, so we're going to use them.
It's as if they suddenly remembered them, going, oh, we've got timeouts to use. Why not?
And we've still got 6 minutes, 16 seconds left of the game. So interesting that we're using these timeouts quite so early in this quarter.
Yeah, I was interested that the first one came so early, but this one is almost... They've barely got back on the pitch, and there's another one. Maybe they all just needed a bit more of a rest, and they're really hoping that get that extra 30 seconds in.
It's like a chess game, isn't it? Coach Hudson must have seen what Coach Kloster had changed, and now she wants to try and counter that by saying something to her team.
And she knows that Hustle now can't have another timeout to try and counter it again.
Great. I love this. I love this about sport, about one team trying one tactic and the other team trying to counter it. And we see where we go from there. And
if you look at that awareness there from Hannah Thurston, you can see she was just so concentrated. She got herself in a really good defensive position, and Heather McRae just couldn't quite get past her there, and Hustle have come away with the ball.
Not quite. It's still a mess in there. And checked empty stick, so Rise get the ball.
Those iconic long socks there of Charlie Williams. Attempted pick there for Claire Farham, who's still got the ball. Carries on round, passes it off to Phoebe Smith, who's still got the ball. She's made it past her defender. Looks up, finds... Oh, that was well worked. She finds Claire Farham, who finds that top corner, which you love to see. And that brings it to 11-7. So Rise looking a bit... They're just widening that gap. It's not happening at pace, but it doesn't need to happen at pace if you're putting the ball in the back of the net.
No, it feels like they're just tightening the screw, doesn't it? You know, and we're just slowly but surely pulling away from the opposition. But Miranda Bates has the ball, and I'm sure she'll want to do something about it. Inside to Laura Beeman, but challenged, and the ball is back with Lucy Grant, the goalkeeper.
Someone shouting "roar," I think. Do we feel that might be a play?
I was trying to work out what I was hearing then, but yes, I think you're right. I think it was roar. I've no idea if that's a play or whether it's just the goalkeeper being a bit frustrated.
Maybe it's just a bit of excitement. You love to hear a roar in sport. That's what's nice, to have a few spectators back.
That's right. Freya Savage to Heather McRae. But that's the shot clock.
That is. Ruby Smith sets off, but
she's alone at the moment.
Taken on by Heather McRae. Sophie Coombs-Roberts brings the ball in, passes it off to Emma Oakley, who drops it, but still maintains possession. Sophie Coombs-Roberts, one of those players, she always looks like she's ready to take a shot, doesn't she? She's got her stick back, she has her hands quite low on the stick.
Yeah, I think she just loves scoring. You know, there are some players that, you know, that's their dream, is just to keep scoring, and she's one of those. But she's a strong, powerful player, and she's taking a rest now.
That's a lovely finish there from Eliza Watson, who's already up in the defensive end. She's worked that one nicely.
Yeah, and the absolute commitment there of Eliza is that she's took the shot, scored the goal, and she's the first one back in defence. But a great pull back there.
Yeah, Hustle are equal to it. That was Hannah Thurston, nice finish there. But Lucy Grant is directing traffic again.
Charlie Bergqvist looking for an opening, feeds it out to Eliza Watson.
There's some good defence going on here from Hustle. As you can see, we've got... I'm so impressed by Hannah Thurston's defensive position. She gets low, she's in that optimal position, knees bent, and not quite able to keep that one out. Hustle. Sophie Allen just walking the ball out there. So it's 12-8, no, 13-8 now to Rise. So you can see Coach Hudson just teetering on that edge over there. She doesn't give much away. She's just pointing. Her players will be listening to what she has to say. A 4-time World Cup player, so you want to take her words wisely. You know, she knows what she's on about.
Yes, I'm sure that the players are listening to everything. You know, I find that the teams have responded well to their coaches in this tournament, and it's been good to see the development of the player. And as you say, although us Hustle are down in this one, they've actually developed well over the tournament, so there'll be lots of positives to take away.
There's an attempted pick there by Hannah Thurston for Sophie Coombs-Roberts. Doesn't quite come off, but they look like Hustle maintained possession, but no, it's gone back to Lucy Grant, the Rise goalkeeper.
And we're in the last 2 minutes of this third-fourth playoff, and either players look like they're getting a little bit tired, a little bit sloppy at times. And we've gone for another timeout from the Rise, from Coach Hudson, I believe. So what do you think for the last minute and 3/4, Georgie?
I think Hustle almost, if I were Hustle, I would almost have to, you've got to take that risk. So they might almost need to go for what they fell to in their very first game and leave that player up into that almost fast break situation, because they've got nothing to lose now. They've got a 5-goal deficit, so you need to take a risk and do something different and out of the ordinary. Yes, it's nice to build the goals, but you haven't got time for that really anymore. You know, what have we got left? Just under 2 minutes, so you've got 4 shots in that time. So yeah, I think if I were them, I'd almost try and leave that player up for that fast break situation.
But Rise are in possession, so we've got the players marking closely, marking tightly. Charlie Bergqvist being directed behind the goal and being double teamed on the back line, and she takes a step out.
That was a lovely double team there. That was that V position you're always taught as a double team. You don't want them to be able to just slide through the middle.
And long ball through to Sophie Coombs-Roberts, but bounced just in front of her, and she missed out on that. Well defended by Charlotte Williams.
That's that moment you need to think, I'm getting tired. You need to start, you really need to think, watch that ball into your stick, because you can't afford to lose it in situations like that, especially when you've got this 5-goal deficit.
Wow, look at Eliza Watson's determination there and running. That
was a lovely save from Sophie Allen. That's one of those when people always think, as a right-handed goalkeeper, you would think bottom left is going to be the hardest one, but I always found that the mid-left is the hardest, because you'd have to think, do I go over with my stick or am I going to go under? So Sophie Allen has gone for over there, and she's made a wonderful save.
And Hannah Thurston off in the penalty chair. So Hustle are down a player, which is not going to help their cause.
But, you know, Charlie Williams dropped the ball there, so it's another... Yeah, you can see the stick work has become a bit more frantic as we come into the final 45 seconds of this game, and Rise almost look like they're trying to play possession but take the shot clock down to the last time, because remember, you've only got your 30 seconds. Found Eliza Watson out top. Oh, that is one of those lovely takes. One-handed, as we know, she'll have spent ages doing that.
They ran the shot clock down, so Hustle have one last chance, I think. 28 seconds left. Ruby Smith, the ever youthful Ruby Smith, running the ball up the pitch. Laura Beeman goes through.
And that's one of those things, they run the shot clock down, but actually they won't be disappointed in that, because there isn't really the time for Hustle to get those goals right. So if they run it down, they've used up 30 seconds. And yes, it's changed possession, but it's 30 seconds that Hustle haven't had the time to make a shot in. So it's quite clever.
Oh, great shot from Laura Beeman.
And that was a lovely finish, because you just don't know if they're going to be able to make up this 4-goal deficit in the last 10 seconds.
No, but it's always nice to finish.
Yes, it is, isn't it?
Finish as well as you can. Julie Wise.
Julie Wise, that was a fantastic left-handed shot. Oh, look at that lovely slide there for Emma Oakley. She puts her body on the line there, Emma Oakley. They've gone for that long pass. And that was a fantastic game we've seen there. So it's a win for the Rise, so they take bronze medal in this, and they'll be pleased with that one. It was a good performance. It wasn't a one-sided game by any chance. And so they take the victory, 14-9.
Yeah, great performance by Rise, and you could see how much it meant to the girls, even though it's a third, fourth playoff. You know, they celebrated like they'd won the gold medal there, you know. So it's great that they put everything on the line, that they tried their hardest, and they produced some good quality of play, both teams. So well done to both teams, well done to both coaches, and, you know, it's just great to see the level that we're starting, or the patterns of play that we're starting to see are successful in this format.
We've got a beaming Coach Hudson there, just fist bumping the officials.
You played into
Should be very pleased with that performance from their team. They were almost unlucky yesterday in that game because they started so well, but today was a completely different one. So you have to adapt to the game that you're playing at this time. You can learn, as we were saying yesterday, you learn from the previous games and the previous quarters, and you bring that into today's game. So yeah, they'll be happy. They can go home happy at the end of today. It'd be a nice Sunday roast perhaps for dinner.
Yeah, that'd be nice, wouldn't it? So yeah, I'm sure they'll be very pleased, and everybody, coaches, officials, players, will have all learnt so much by doing this, and I think that's a really important thing to do, is just to keep developing, keep learning.
And they'll be quite pleased, the girls, just as the rain starts to fall. And I think we're going to hear from the Rise assistant coach here, Matt Sharp, on his team's victory in that third, fourth playoff. So he'll be quite a happy man to talk to. You can see Coach Hudson just celebrating with her team over there while her assistant coach comes in for interview. The Rise girls looking quite pleased with themselves.
We are here with Matt Sharp, assistant coach of Rise. That was a nice end to the weekend, wasn't it?
Yeah, it was a great end to the weekend. It was much better than the weather.
Yeah. Now, the way the girls celebrated at the end, that was really important to win that game.
Yeah, really important. I think it's because we'd felt we'd been in every game we played in. I think we lost the first game by 3, the second by 2. We thought, you know, we deserved to get something for the weekend, and we got that today.
Fantastic. Now, that was one of the lowest scoring games of the weekend. Is that tiredness kicking in, or was that tactical? What went on?
I think it's a bit of both, to be honest. I think the tactics, decision making tends to slow down when you're a bit more tired, and I think you can see that on both teams. Yeah.
Now, the tournament itself in the sixes format, what future has it got, do you think, in your opinion?
I think it's got an enormous future. I mean, there's a Home Nations tournament at the end of August, which is England, Scotland, Wales. I'd like to see it in at junior levels as well, because I think it's a great way of introducing kids to the game. So I think it's a great format.
And now these teams have been pulled together for the last few weeks. What happens now? Do they just disband, go their separate ways? What goes on?
I think so. Unfortunately, I mean, this will happen again next year, I would think. So we'll probably stay in touch. And a lot of the girls know each other, and they play against each other, and so do the coaches. So we'll still be communicating on a regular basis, I would think.
Matt, congratulations. Good end to your weekend. Well done.
All right, brilliant. Thanks very
for
much.
your time.
Just see a few replays of some of those lovely looking goals from the first half. Oh, see, Charlie Williams putting her body on the line there. She's so nearly fallen over in that one, and she still kept herself up. It was nice to hear from the Rise assistant coach Matt Sharp there. He's probably a very happy man, him and Coach Hudson, and you can see the Rise girls still all standing around, and I can see lots of smiles, which is always nice to see, just as the boys preparing to take on their third, fourth playoff. They're filling the players' area, so we'll see who we're going to see. We're going to see Rise versus Hustle for the men's third, fourth playoff. Oh no, I should say yes, Hustle versus Swift. I can see the lovely blue in the distance as they're finishing their warm-up here at Lilleshall. Been a nice weekend. The winds are just starting up a bit. I don't know if you can hear that one, but a few of the Hustle players just walking off here for the girls. I can see Emma Oakley and Ruby Smith in the distance. They've put in the miles, those two, this weekend. They're still smiling.
Yeah, I mean, they've just been phenomenal, those two. They've run and run and run and also created. And I think they should be very pleased and proud of the work that they've done over the 3 days of the fly. And they can take that forward into, hopefully, England GB selection for six.
Especially looking ahead to next year's World Games. They're two names I would pencil into my team at this moment in time, but as we know, there's still time between now and then, so anything can happen. But two very seasoned professionals showing what they can do this weekend. And I think we're going to pass over to the men in a minute. The boys are just making their way towards the pitch, and myself and Jane will leave you. It's been a fun game, hasn't it, Jane? And I'll catch you again later.
Been a pleasure. Thanks, Georgie. And it's been a good game, and I'm really looking forward to the final. The final promises to be an excellent game. So hopefully people will tune in for that.
Wonderful.